Alright fellas, what's going on? Denonu here, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on this YouTube channel. And we got ourselves a new Flash episode this week. Sorry, I'm a day late, but normally I do these in the morning after, the episode premiered and everything, and I just now get into it and it's like the evening, so. But anyway, in this episode, you had a lot going on. It really got the ball moving on a lot of things. Right out the gate, Zoom is terrorizing the city, trying to find Harrison Wells and Cisco, and which really, there's a lot of things in this episode that didn't really make sense to me, honestly, and that was the first thing I noticed. It was like, where Harrison Wells hangs out, you know he's at Star Labs. Like, why isn't that like the first place you look? But anyway, as they go through on the episode, basically he's looking for them. They're trying to get a plan together, try to find out where he's located. Barry from Earth 2 wakes up from when they knocked him out, and they're trying to deal with him. And while he's trying to come to grips as far as what they're telling him, he gets the idea to talk to his wife Iris. And they go talk with her, and they basically explain everything between Earth 1 and Earth 2 and what's going on, things like that. And Barry has this, I guess you could call it a protocol, a search parameter, where he can basically track different metahumans and stuff in their city, versus where, in Earth 1, where they just kind of wait until they hear reports from people or from the police or something like that. Earth 2's Barry's program is a little bit more proactive. It'll compare data, statistics from everything from weather, notifications, to different variables depending on the metahuman's power and everything like that, and it try to predict where they're going to be. So since they can't use this to track Zoom because he's too fast, he doesn't leave any evidence behind for them to track, they track down Killer Frost. And Cisco has the idea of, let's say, assuming she's going to be pissed that Zoom killed Firestorm, and they're going to try to convince her to tell them where Zoom's base is located, because she's been there, she knows where it is. And when they get there, she doesn't do that. They fight it out for a quick second, and basically Cisco talks her down and convinces her to help them, and they eventually make their way to Zoom's base of operations, his lair, if you will, according to Cisco. And this is where things get interesting. See, while all that stuff was going on, Barry and Harrison Wells' daughter are communicating back and forth, and they're also seeing this guy who's in across from Barry, this guy that's in an iron mask. I know they showed him in the last episode and everything, and he's knocking on the wall. They deduce that this knocking on the wall is him trying to communicate. He's trying to talk to him, but since he can't physically talk, he's knocking on the wall, but just that they're not understanding what he's knocking, until they both figure out what he's actually knocking, and they figure out what kind of pattern it is, and they pretty much deduce what he's saying. Now, what he says is J-A-Y, and Barry assumes it means Jay Garrick, being since he's the Flash of Earth 2. And when Barry says, oh yeah, Jay's alive, I've seen him, I've talked to him, it's whatever, the other guy starts getting angry or disappointed and stuff. So I don't know how to take that, only because if he's not, let's say, a friend of Jay's, I'm going to assume that, and this is just me guessing, I don't have no other evidence to support this, is I'm going to assume that he wasn't knocking on the wall saying that Jay is, he wasn't asking about Jay. He was trying to tell Barry and company either to warn them about Jay Garrick, or maybe in fact that he is Jay Garrick. And that's what I'm thinking. I think the guy in the mask is Earth 2 Garrick. It will be a pretty cool twist. I think the guy who we know as Garrick, honestly, I think that might be somebody else. You know, maybe either posing as Garrick, or maybe, you know, maybe they're doing like in season 1 with a reverse Flash where he took his face, you know, and, you know, he's, you know, wearing his likeness, so to speak. And that's why they have him in the Iron Mask. Because I think either he's, the guy in the mask is either the real Garrick, or he could be Barry's dad of Earth 2. However, I don't think that's the case personally. I really do think Barry's dad from Earth 2 is Zoom. I honestly believe that, based on some pictures that they had online and things like that. But I don't really know for sure. That's just me guessing. Basically, Cisco and company, they finally make it there. Zoom discovers that Barry and Harrison Wells' daughter was trying to communicate with you know, the one guy, the guy with the mask, and he beats the hell out of Barry and all this kind of sort of stuff. And Barry, you know, sees that Zoom is able to enter their cages by phasing through the glass wall, so he gets the idea to try it. But however, he fails miserably after, you know, trying it several times, because he can't vibrate at this universe's frequency. So, you know, he basically gives up. When Cisco and company gets there, they get Harrison Wells' daughter, they break her out. Killer Frost helps them release her. And when they try to get Barry out, they can't break the glass. And Killer Frost can't freeze the glass and break it because of Harrison Wells explain that the glass is made up of something that pretty much doesn't freeze, so they can't just freeze it and shatter it. So basically Earth 2 Barry gives Earth 1 Barry motivational speech, and that gives them the determination and the inspiration to, you know, match frequencies and then phase through the glass. However, when they do that, Zoom shows up and they have to make a hasty retreat. Killer Frost jumps on Zoom, freezes it, and that allows the other guys, you know, everybody else to escape except the guy in the Iron Mask. They wanted to get him out, but they couldn't get him out in time, so they had to run from Zoom, which still confuses me as far as why Zoom is faster than Barry. I understand that from a writing standpoint, you always want to write your heroes like a step under your villains. That way it makes the show interesting, because if you just have villains that just completely dominate the hero, then it kind of gives you nobody to root for, unless you're writing like a villain show, which this isn't. So Barry, going on the assumption that the Speed Force is something tangible in this universe, kind of like how it is in a comic book. And what I mean by that is, if Barry is a natural Speed Force user, you know, there isn't a limit as far as how fast he can go. For those of you who don't know, the Flash in DC comic books, that title that he has, the fastest man alive, that's definitely true. He's faster than anybody else in their whole history. I'm talking about Superman and any other speedster and any other being known to exist in the DC universe. I think they actually classified Flash's speed. It's incalculable. And what I mean by that is, he goes so fast that the term speed or time or moment to moment, whatever word you define, you know, travel as I'm hoping I'm explaining this correctly, because it's kind of hard to explain. But basically, the word speed, travel, time, anything that denotes distance from one place to another, Flash is faster than it. They actually don't have a word that describes how fast he is. I forget what issue they did it, but I remember watching a YouTube video where they broke it down and things like that, and basically he had to race this alien to Earth, and the other alien can instantaneously teleport, and Flash got the momentum of everybody on Earth, and he basically ran so fast that it was faster than instantaneous movement. And that's where it kind of sort of described that he can't, there's no word to describe how fast he is. That's how fast the Flash is. And I know this is a TV universe. I know that I'm not trying to say that, oh, it's the same. But Barry, like I was saying before, he's a natural Speed Force user. He's able to run faster and go through all of this. Zoom, for what they showed, isn't. Because from all accounts, I don't know if they had the particle accelerator thing happen on Earth 2. I'm assuming they did, only because they have metahumans and stuff like that. But they never confirmed that, I don't think. I don't remember them talking about, the particle accelerator explosion on Earth 2. But maybe they did. Like it's been a while since I've seen the first few episodes of season 2. But if that's the case, from what Jay Garrick said, and assuming he's a bad guy, then let's just take anything he said and just throw it out the window as lies. Because what he said was that he became the Flash through the same thing. So I'm assuming that's the particle accelerator thing. Because I remember him just saying I was the Flash, and then Zoom just suddenly showed up. So it was after the fact. So unless the particle accelerator made 2 different speedsters, which I doubt, only because they've never even hinted at that kind of sort of thing before, but that doesn't make it impossible either. It's kind of hard to because it always makes me think like, okay, well, who was Zoom then? I honestly think it's Barry's dad from Earth 2. However, it begs the question. Then I always think about, well, how did he get his speed powers? How did he get his speedster powers? And it's I don't know, YouTube. I really don't. It's like it's one of those things that they're trying to keep hidden until probably like the season finale. And I know a lot of people are guessing online that, oh, it's Hunter Zolomon from Earth 2 from the future and shit. It's like, no, the Hunter Zolomon thing in the last episode, that was just the name they picked out of a hat because he's related to Zoom. And from a writing standpoint, I wouldn't just make it, oh, look, I'm this guy, come back from the future, because you just did that in season 1. They wouldn't rehash the same storyline from season 1. If they do that, I'm going to be incredibly disappointed. But I honestly think Zoom is either Barry Allen from Earth 2, who somehow magically got speed power some kind of way that I can't figure out, or he is from another dimension, like let's say like Earth 1 Barry is, and he came to Earth 2 and he's being like Jet Li from the 1, where he's taking out speedsters in every dimension trying to get faster. And the only reason I say that is because it doesn't make sense. If he's a natural Speed Force user just like Barry is, then he should be able to get faster on his own. He shouldn't have to steal a speedster's speed in order to get faster. He shouldn't be able to do that. Just like Barry doesn't have to steal speed in order to go faster. If you have a natural connection to the Speed Force, then you just are able to do it. Granted, Barry may be slower now, but if he trained and if he got better, then he will become faster. If Zoom was a natural Speed Force user, then he should be able to do the same. However, I don't think that's the case. I really do think that since he is stealing speed, I honestly think that his suit, and the only reason I say this is because he has all of that blue lightning accents around his suit, right? Which is cool. It reminds me of like, Super Saiyan 2s and DBZ. But it reminded me of the Reverse Flash's outfit, of how he could take tachyon particles or whatever that form of matter is and make it generate super speed, because Reverse Flash wasn't a speedster, but when he charged the suit and wore the suit, he was able to run as fast as the Flash. So I think something like that's going on. I don't think I don't think Zoom is from the future. I don't think he is an original speedster. I don't think he has a connection to the Speed Force, because they never show him doing anything, let's say, that connects him to the Speed Force. He's just doing the same things Barry can do, and it's like something, you know, like kind of like you could do those same things out of observation. You know, like if you had super speed and if you know, practiced a certain way, you could do the same thing. You don't have to have that connection. And since he's wanting to steal other people's speed, it kind of sort of makes sense. It's like, okay, well, maybe he don't have a connection to the Speed Force. And honestly, I think that's what's going on. I mean, I can't wait until they fully, like, you know, once we get into the, you know, towards the season finale, I can't wait to see how they kind of sort of describe it, because it's very interesting. And now that the Man in Iron Mask is asking about Jay Garrick, I honestly think that's going to bring a whole new dynamic revolving him, because I really do think that that's Jay Garrick, and I don't know who this other guy is. And if that's the case, why is this other guy working with Barry and company? I mean, I would assume he's a plant by Zoom, but, you know, it begs the question, why? You know, it kind of, you don't need info on them, because Zoom came in there, whooped Barry's ass, and left. So if you're completely faster than him and better than him, then you really don't have to get info on your enemy at that point. You know, and it's, I mean, that's just how I see it. But, you know, it could be, you know, that they have something else in store for us down the line with future episodes, and that's what I'm hoping. It intrigues me greatly. And that's one of the reasons why I love this show. They always try to leave you hanging until they, you know, show you something later on. But a lot of the, you know, what they have in the show, you can actually see coming. Like at the end of the episode, they had Jay Garrick, you know, appear to get killed, but I don't think he was. I mean, honestly, they showed him lingering next to this portal, and I was like, watch Zoom come out here and kill him. And then just as soon as I thought about it, Zoom's arm popped out of his chest, and he got pulled back in the portal before they closed it. So, honestly, I don't think that Jay Garrick is dead at all by any means. I think he was working with Zoom somehow. Now that they closed the portal, though, I don't know how they're going to get back to Earth 2. I really don't, unless they cause another particle accelerator explosion, or unless Barry runs to the other dimension. I know he's known to do that in the comic books, so maybe they do that in the show too. Who knows? But it will be interesting to see, and I can't wait for next week. But anyway, I made this video for far too long. You know, started out being 7 minutes, but, you know, now it's up to 17 minutes. Really should learn to stop rambling, YouTube. I really should. But anyways, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Please be on the lookout for next week's video. My name is Denonu, the man with the biggest and the most blackest privilege on YouTube. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace out.